Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Delore, and I know I haven't made a video in a really long time. I just kind of got discouraged with my YouTube creation. So my line sister wanted me to show her like how I do my makeup, so I was like, why to practice vlogging and my camera setup and everything with that. So I'm like, let me make a little YouTube video, and I'm just going to show y'all how I do my natural everyday glam. I've tried to implement some new tricks that I've learned, so some of the stuff I haven't done before, but it's still gonna come out fine. Trust me, trust me, trust me. I'm not a professional, but I love doing my makeup, and this is just what I do, okay? So if you want to tune in, go ahead and tune in, click the like button, give me a comment, ask me questions. If you have any suggestions or advice, please leave it in the comments. I will try them out. Okay, so the very first thing that I do is prime. That's the basic part of what you need. Use the e.l.f. Shape and Stay brow pencil. So I just take it's like a little wax pencil. I take it on my brows and I brush it the opposite way of the way that they lay a couple times. And then I'll go in with a spoolie, brush them upwards the way that I want them to lay. Sometimes I take the spoolie and roll it. That kind of helps lay it down too. This is an e.l.f. brow lift applicator, so the other side is just like a flat base. So I take that and just press down and make sure the hairs are laid down. And that's how I prep my brows. I'm going to go in with this Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Love this. Some people don't like it, but I don't know why, but I just take a little squirt and spread it across my cheeks, my forehead, and my chin. And I use my fingertips and I just work it into my skin with my fingertips. And you just want to work it until it starts to feel tacky on your fingers. And that way it's going to grip your makeup and keep your makeup on all day. Okay, so next I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and I am going to take some loose translucent powder. I'm using Revolution makeup. Trying to get it to focus. I'm using Revolution makeup. So I'm just going to dip my brush in there, tap it on my hand, and just tap it in over my whole face. And this just helps your makeup stay on long. You want to do a generous amount just so you know it's actually on there. You want to look a little ghostly. That's the trick. Get my eyes real good, get all this oil off my face. I'm going to take my MAC Prep and Prime Fix It Rose Spray. So we're just going to prime the face, get it ready for the makeup application. So I'm just going to spray. And while that sets in, I'm going to take the Milani Stay Put Brow Color in Brunette. It comes with this brush and spoolie. And I'm going to dip into the product and do my eyebrows as the setting spray sets and does what it needs to do. I like to take a generous amount onto the brush and work it upward into my eyebrow in strokes. And I like to drag it over my arch to make it look more natural instead of blocky. So I just do that until I feel like my eyebrow is filled in to my liking. Some people like it a little darker. I feel like I've awakened from my eyebrow blindness, so I try not to go overboard because later on I do go in with a pencil. So this is just basically to get the brow placed exactly how I want it. See the difference? Like, I actually have an eyebrow now on this side. Period. If you have any recommendations on like eyebrow products, this is the only like pomade-ish product that I've used. And my eyebrows are pretty thin and they don't grow fast at all. So I basically have to make my eyebrows. So if you know any products that you like to use, please let me know so I can try them out. But right now, this Milani's Stay Brow, I guess it's pomade. I think it's pomade. So this is basically how I set up my brows. I get the nice and filled in how I want and get the shape that I want secure. Okay, so Beats by Deb, I love her, and she influenced me to buy these NYX Pro Fix Stick concealers. Baby, I love them. She made them look so good, and now I can't stop using them. So this is in the shade number 11, and it's Cinnamon. I like to use this to conceal, highlight, and also carve out my eyebrows, because that's what I saw Deb do on her page, and I was like, yes, period, I'm going to do that too. I seen Deb do it, so I was like, I'm going to do it. She's Regina George at this point. And you don't have to add a lot of pressure. And I don't need a lot of product, so I'm just going to sweep this under my eyebrow. And I'm going to take a brush and just blend this out really quick, okay? Like, look how good that blends out. Like, oh my goodness, I love it so much. And it's like not too much, but just enough. Yeah. Go get you some. I got mine from Target. Okay, so now in my makeup routine, this is when I would usually color correct. I feel like color correcting is just like a personal preference. It's an optional choice step in the routine, so you don't technically have to do this. So basically, I just do this to cover up any blemishes that I might have or discoloration, because I love popping my pimples. So if I have, some free time, I'll color correct, but if I'm in a rush, I usually don't color correct. But I like to color correct my cheeks. That's where I have the most blemishes from my popped pimples, and then around my forehead just from wearing like bonnets and breaking out from those, and just old scars from when I was younger. So what I will use is another Fix Stick from NYX. Ooh, that was low-key bars, you feel me? But this is in the color 0.5 in apricot. So if you are a melanated baddie like me, you usually want to use like a peach color or something close to this to do your color correction. I don't know what other people need to use because I'm not that color, so please don't ask me. I have no idea. So I just like to go over it lightly. They're just darker spots I have. Some spots and some scarring up here that I like to cover up. And then I like to do the corners of my mouth. So what I'll do is I will spray prepping spray. This is from Morphe Continuous Prep and Set Mist. Love this. This might be my favorite spray. Whew. And it smells real luxurious. So I use a dense brush and I go in and basically just tap this into the area. You don't want to blend it too much out, because if you blend it out to where you can't see the blemish, then you're basically just, defeating the whole purpose of doing this and wasting your time. So I've been there, done that, so just don't do what I did. Tapping this into my skin, and the goal is to basically blend out the edges but still cover the blemishes. And then you want to just respray with setting spray as you go. If you feel like you've dried out a little bit to where it's not really blending for you, you can always just respray with some setting spray. So I will be back when this is all blended out. Okay, now that I have all of that blended out, now this is where you correct. That was just to cover the blemishes. Now you're going to take another color and go over that to correct the color. It makes sense in my head, so if it don't make sense, you just need to watch some other videos. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So I take a concealer that is the same color as my complexion, so basically like my foundation shade almost in concealer. I'm using the Fenty Beauty liquid concealer. This might be my favorite makeup product ever. This is the best concealer I've ever used. I love it down. Won't stop using it. You just want to cover the spots that you just blended out with said concealer, and then I let it sit for a little bit, If I were doing some sort of eyeshadow, cute eyeshadow look, I would probably start getting the base down for that while this dries out a little bit. But for now, I'm just gonna let it sit for a second. Once this is blended out, then we'll be ready for foundation. Ooh, I might have hit a note there. I don't know which one. Okay, I've let this sit for about 2 minutes. I'm gonna spray and tap this concealer into my skin with a little, I guess like a little fluffy brush. And basically I'm just tapping it into my skin and spreading it over the area where I blended out the peach color. And it'll be like those blemishes were never there. And you have to make sure you really blend this out because you don't want it to look splotchy underneath your foundation or your skin tint, whatever you're going to put on top of this. So just make sure the edges are really blended out really well. This is Mario Badescu. I don't know if I'm saying that man's name right. I don't know if it is a man, but spray that right on the brush and continue to tap. If you can still see a little bit of the peach or red color underneath, it's totally fine. We're going to go over it with some foundation anyway. But yeah, this is basically how I conceal the spots that I don't particularly want people to see. So for my everyday looks, I really like to stick with skin tints, especially during the summers. I live in Arizona in the middle of the desert, so I try not to put on too much makeup when I don't have to. But today I'm going to be trying out the Skin Focus foundation from About Me. That is the brand that's owned by Halsey, the singer. I don't know if you guys know who she is. But yeah, their brand just really calls to me. I have some liquid matte eyeshadow that I really love from them. And for some reason, every time I go into Ulta, I just feel drawn to buy something from there. So I tested out some of the foundation. Okay, so the shade that I picked up was D3 Neutral, just because I try to stay away from warms. I don't want to turn red, and olive just doesn't really look good on me. So I got D3 Neutral, and I'm going to be using my Morphe foundation brush. I just got these like clear, I don't know what to call them. They're like clear palettes, reusable palettes for your hand. I just, I love me a gadget. So this is the real test. Let's see it on the skin. Okay, it's looking a little dark, but I feel like once I do the rest of my makeup, it's going to even out pretty well. I'm just going to do a little bit on my temple, bring that onto my forehead and down my nose. There we go. So now I'm going to spray my Morphe Prep Spray Mist. Ooh, look at how that blends out. Oh my God. I was a little hesitant because I did have to go and switch out my shade. It's still giving a little dark, but I have faith. I'm just gonna blend and trust the process. I just think this blends out so freaking beautiful, like so beautiful. But now I just want to know if I need to go back and get a different shade, because this is looking really dark. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. The foundation itself for $22. Yeah. Like, look at the coverage. I'm not even like a coverage girly, and like, what are we talking about? Okay, so in my camera, I'm on my phone. In my camera looks crazy. I don't look that crazy in real life. It is quite dark, but we gonna lighten her up. We are gonna lighten her up. Now I'm feeling like the first shade I got was probably right. I was just being dramatic. Cause I picked up M3 neutral, M2 neutral, something like that, like the medium one instead of the deep one. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? I might have been on the right path, because this is a little dark for me, but I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge. So after I apply liquid foundation, I like to take a clean, dry beauty blender brush spray it with some setting spray. And then I just like to tap in the foundation into my skin. This is just like the stamp on the nail. You feel me? Like, this is how I know my foundation is set for the day. If you didn't notice, when I put my foundation on, I tried to stay away from under my eye because I tried to put on the least amount of product that I have to under my eye. But I like to tap this in really good. That way I'm getting all the excess product off. Bada bing, bada boom. Like on my camera, on my phone, the foundation looks fine. In person, it looks a tad too dark. And on my camera, it looks, I'm giving people of the Claytown. Like, this shit looks, I look like I'm straight out of Sedona. I got birthed out the caves. Okay, so this is my favorite way to contour. I like to take my matchsticks from Fenty Beauty in the shade Espresso. I rub it into the back of my hand to warm up the product. And I get a nice amount of the product worked into this palette I have on the back of my hand. As you can see, it's a generous amount. So then I'm going to take this brush. I don't even know what kind of brush this is, but it is, oh, it says an e.l.f. blush, but I use it for contouring. There you go. To tap this into the makeup, this is, I watched one of Uche's videos the other day, so I'm gonna try to do a little something she did. So I'm gonna swipe this down like so. She had a lot more product on hers because she was dipping out of like a contour palette. But I'm just working this product into the back of my hand so it can easily transfer onto my brush. As I go from where the top of my ear is underneath. Usually I come through here and stop right around where the end of my eye stops. But after I watch Uche's video, I'm gonna pull down towards my chin. You see how I have that line? Pew. That's what we're trying to achieve on this side. There we go. And we're going to swipe it underneath here. Boom. And on the other side. And swipe it across the top of my forehead. The bigger the forehead, the bigger the contour, baby. I'm just gonna let you know right now. Good amount of contour on this forehead. This flat brush and lay the smaller contour pieces down. So I'm gonna go down my nose like such. According to Uche, I ain't been using enough products, so I'm gonna use plenty of product today. And I like to go down the bridges of my nose, under my nose, because I have a button nose. So this is how I like to contour. Right here, right here. One thing I struggle with, and I'm still trying to learn, is placement of this stuff and where's the best place on my face for it. So yeah, I'm just copying what Uche did in her video, and we're gonna hope for the best. But I can't do the blending everything out at the same time, so I'm gonna go in and blend these out. So I have this side blended out for the contour, and now I'm going to blend this side out. Now I like to spray in between my blending. That also helps your makeup like sink into each other and stay on all day. So I take my brush and I blend. I tap upwards. I tap towards the middle of my face because you want to bring your contour up so it sucks your face in. So I'm going to do that. And make sure that you blend this into your ear and down into your neck so there's no harsh lines. And I also like to make sure that I'm tapping this into my hairline so there's not like a really big outline of where I did my makeup and where my hair starts. I hate when people don't blend their contour. It looks crazy. And then for my nose, I take the same brush. We're just gonna swipe it up against your nose, up into your brow. And then just the bottom of my nose, make sure all the contour is blended. And now I have brought the shadows back into my face. I'm gonna go back to using my Cinnamon NYX Fix Stick, and then also I'm going to use my Skin Enhancing Concealer for Chile in the shade Medium 1.5. And I'm just going to take a small amount in the inner corner, out into the outer corner, like so. And this is pretty much preference of how much makeup you want to use. The more makeup you use, the more coverage. If you're not a coverage girly, you don't have to go this far over, or you go down this far. So I'm going to hit the sides, right here in the middle, down my nose, and right in between my eyebrows. So this is the first step for highlighting. So what I like to do is, since this is a cream, I really don't have to let this sit. Okay, I'm going to use my makeup bullet. It's a little dirty, I've been using it, to spray it with some Mario Badescu. It is shaped in the perfect shape for me to get into my inner eye corner and things, and place things right where I want it. So I'm going to use this first to blend out the NYX Fix. When you blend out under your eye, you really want to make sure you don't drag it down too far, because then it'll make your eyes look droopy. But look how that just brightens up under. Ooh, it just blends so well. Oh my god. So I like to tap it down the bridge of my nose to kind of carve out that contour. Be careful not to over tap, over blend, because then you're going to lose your coverage. So this right here is pretty good for me. It's a good highlight moment. So I'm going to go around and tap everything in, and then show you the second step to highlighting for me. Now that I have that blended out, I have my nose strip still on. I'm going to go in with my Chile and re-highlight places that I want extra bright. So that's going to be my inner eye, right here. In this part, you really don't have to use that much more, since we already have one layer. I'm going to go over my nose strip. And I'm going to let these sit for a moment, just so they can get a little tacky. I'm going to use my Thread Define It brow pencil. This is shade Medium Brown. So I'm just going to take the pencil part and just reinforce my brows, especially the inner part. I'm just going to use short strokes upward. Just make sure everything is still filled in, since we did go in with foundation. Now these are even more defined. So now I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques 402 brush, and that's also the brush that Uche likes to use. So I felt like I was really doing something, if you ask me. So I am going to spray this with a little of my Morphe finishing spray, and I'm going to start with at the bottom. So you just want to make sure this is nice and blended out, because we don't want any splotchiness when we set our face. I blend it inwards, and then smile lines, bring that in towards the mouth. Then I'm going to go up and do my forehead. And you want to make sure you don't take this too far into your contour, because you don't want to mess your contour up. So this is just bringing a little light to the inside of my face. I'm going to tap the bottom of this inner corner, and then when I get done tapping the outside in, I'm going to go in with a powder puff and powder puff the inner corner. Just watch. I'm just going to tap it into the spaces where I went in with the Fix Sticks. Tap it down the side of my nose. Always want to bring your highlight up, so it's going along with the snatching of the face. I don't like to bring it all the way out We're just going to keep it contained here underneath the brow. Do the other side. And I feel like the brush just gives me a lot more coverage than like a sponge would. But once you see how this powder puff is about to blend this inner corner, you're gonna be like, girl, I should have been using the powder puff. Now I'm gonna take my powder puff, spray it with some setting spray, and I like to tap it into my hand a little bit. I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to tap the inner corner in. Look at how much coverage that is. Come on. And then I like to bring it up into the inner corner here. Like, look at the coverage on my nose from using the powder puff. And I like to make sure I'm getting really good underneath my eye so I can prevent it from creasing. I don't know why. I feel like I always crease. There's like no escaping the creasage. Yeah, so if you guys have any tips and tricks about not creasing under your under eye, I need them. Okay, I'm going to blend this all out. At the end, I like to go in with the powder puff, fold it like I have from under my eye, and just tap it up and down my nose. So I'm going to be back once this is all blended. Okay, now we've come to the part where we need to set all of our creams and liquids down. So first, I'm going to take my Morphe spray again. Give me a good spray. Lock in all the juices. I just purchased this CoverGirl Simply Ageless Instant Wrinkle Blurring Press Powder. I don't usually get like aging products or whatever, but I do want to try out the pressed powder trick under your eye. So if you guys have any pressed powder recommendations, I've been told Laura Mercier, I think I see NARS. I did see Bare Minerals had like a pressed setting powder. It's called like Veil, Mineral Veil or something like that. I was thinking about getting that because that was like $35. But I just wasn't sure. So if y'all tried that, please let me know how much you like it. If not, give me your recommendations. I'll take them. What I'm going to do first is take the same powder puff. I'm going to make sure that underneath my eye is very well blended. No crease. Because if you start off with a crease, you're going to end with a crease. I take my fluffy brush, fluffy like pointed brush. I am going to tap it into this pressed powder. Tap it into my hand to get the excess off. And then tap it in under my eye. And the reason why I had to get this new pressed powder is because I needed something that was going to match my highlight shade and not just be like skin color, because then that's just going to take away all the work we just did. So I just take that, tap it in under my eye. See how I'm bending down so I'm not looking down to make the crease. I'm looking up and tapping underneath my eye. And tap in where I did my highlights at. I'm like, tap in this area. Ooh, I really like this powder. It's actually kind of nice. And it looks nice on. And this is also going to help control with any oils. If you're oily girly, I'm more of like combination. So I like to hit my T-zone, especially living out here in Arizona where the sun is always beaming. And then once you get done with the pressed powder, then we're going to move into the loose powder. Okay, that's where we really get to baking. And do a whole bunch of baking. I'm going to use my Amicole setting powder because I have a lot of setting powder, but since I use their concealer, I'm going to use their setting powder as well. Cover your powder puff in the setting powder. You want to use a generous amount like such, and then I'm going to take it on my hand and spread it so the powder is even across the puff so it's not blotchy. And then I'm just going to tap in underneath my eye where I highlighted at. Boom. And do the same for the other side. And you do want to make sure this is spread evenly, because if you don't, it's going to look a little crazy when you try to dust it off. I'm just making sure I'm filling in any spaces, like right here where this crease is for my nose. Make sure I'm getting that real good underneath my eye, tuck my chin, underneath my nose, smile lines, and last but not least, the forehead. Take a flat brush of some sort, dip it generously into the setting powder, and then carefully down the center of my nose. Sometimes you gotta use the side of the brush to get all the powder off, but you want to set your nose as well. Now it's time to bronze. I usually use my Fenty Beauty Coco Naughty to bronze. Like, that is the GOAT right there. But I just bought the NYX Buttermilk bronzer. I seen everybody talking about this, so I really wanted to try it out. I think Uche is the person that I saw. She used this, but she said she used it more so as like blush. So I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna go in a really light, just to make sure I don't go too crazy with this color. I'm gonna tap, 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 tap it into my hand. Ooh, ooh, yep. See, it is pretty pigmented, and it does have like a berry color that comes with it. You know, the bronzer is supposed to warm up your face, and it's definitely doing that. I just don't want to look, you know, like sunburnt. I'm going to work this in, and I'm probably not going to use as much blush as I usually do, just because this bronzer really does have like a warm, blushy, like berry blush to it, if you can tell in the camera. So I haven't dipped back into the product. I'm just using the same amount that I've had on here and just using it on the places where I placed my contour earlier. But I can say this is definitely warming up my face. I really love it, actually, because I am a bronze girly. I love blush. I love bronze. I love anything that gives my face a little bit of color. Ooh, I look like I've been on vacation. And I'm going to work some into my nose the same way I did the bronzer. And I did not dip back into the product at all for this. That product is very pigmented, and we thank you, NYX, because you did your big one with that one. This is a good like travel product because it doubles as like bronzer, blush. So you can really get a lot of good uses and I would probably swipe this across my eyelids too, just to give it a little bump, bump, boom. Actually, I'm gonna do that now. I'm just gonna swipe it upwards and just blend it into my crease like so. Ooh. You ain't even gotta do too much. Tap, 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 tap on your hand and just work it across your eyelid. And make sure you go the same direction that you went with the contour. Ooh. The way this blends into the thick sticks that I put underneath my eyebrow, baby. A repeat look for sure. Yeah. She's doing it. She's doing it. Period. A few things I would like to point out. I did not use my liquid blush like I usually do. I usually go in with the thick sticks, that first layer of highlight, then do my liquid blush on the sides, and then go in with the second highlight. I didn't do that this time because I felt like this bronzer was going to give me a really good warm color. So I'm not hating the fact that I didn't do my liquid blush this time. So what I'm going to do now is go back to my Thread Define It brow pencil. There is a brow gel at the end of this, so I'm just going to take this out and comb through my brows. If you have thick brows, you can take the top and just swipe over the top. This will make sure my brows stay all day. And then after I do the brow gel, I like to take the spoolie and just comb through. I just feel like that just really pulls everything together Like, let's all work together to keep these brows in check. Period. Ooh. Yeah. Now I'm going to go in with my crayon case blush binder. I'm just going to use a really subtle color to kind of go with this and kind of like brighten it up, because right now it's giving deep nighttime look and it's still the daytime. So I think I'm going to go in with this peachy color right here, and I just tap it into the brush and then I tap it into my hand to knock off the excess, because we're already really warm right now. Like a kind of a parentheses type shape from your apple up to like this arch in your eyebrow. And if you want, you can kind of blend it up a little bit more towards your eye if you like that. But I am a person that loves blush. Then I'm just going to take my brush, tap it into my hand where I was tapping off the excess, and just brush over my nose and tap into the sides of my nose, just to kind of give me like a sun-kissed look right here. Well, I like to do this sometimes, but this is already kind of warm. I can take the whatever's left on this brush and tap it into kind of like the sides of my forehead. That kind of warms it up as well. Yes. Now I'm going to go back with the pointy fluffy brush that I used to press powder on, and I'm just going to swipe away any excess powder from the setting powder that we baked with. I'm going to go under and we're sweeping away. I'm not going back and forth. I'm tapping, sweeping, tapping, sweeping away. Then I'm going to go up and down across my nose to make sure all that setting powder is brushed off, and then hit my forehead, and I just spread it towards the contour just so it kind of gets rid of any harsh lines. Then another trick I learned from Luxe, I'm going to go back into the pressed powder and I'm going to cut a little bit underneath where my contour is. It's kind of like tap this in, and then also just blend in any harsh areas on my neck. And that just kind of like really pulls your cheekbone up to where it needs to be. Yeah, I'm really hurt. I feel like I've been using the same highlighters for years now. If you guys have any highlight recommendations, please let me know. I think someone's told me ColourPop before, and Elf Halo Glow. Those are the two recommendations I've gotten before. But if you have any new ones, please share. I would love to try. I'm going to go in with my Old Faithful Kilowatt from Fenty Beauty and Moscow Mule and Ginger Binge. Period. So I just tap lightly, brush off excess, and we're just going to tap right on top of where we put that blush. I like to tap first and then swipe, just to make sure I don't have a ton on my brush. And then after I swipe, I just kind of work it up into my brow, because I do like my brow to be a little, shiny. And I'll just swipe underneath and right here in the middle of my nose and on the edge of my nose. And I just do the tap on my chin and my forehead just for good measure. After this, it's really just all about preference. Setting spray, set it all together, you feel me? Depending on your skin's needs, that will tell you what kind of setting spray you need to use. And also, if you use more than one, it's really gonna guarantee that you really did not come to play. So after I do my finished spray, I take the fluffy brush that I started off with the loose translucent powder, and I'm just gonna tap over everything. I feel like it locks in everything with the translucent powder. Do a little waterline work. I'm also going to go in with my Chile mascara. This is probably like second favorite mascara that I have used. Start off with the bottom lash. That way you don't get any of the mascara on your eyelids. And then top lash. You need to use an eye curler before this, but I'm not worried about that right now. For the lip combo, I'm going to go in with this NYX lip pencil in Espresso. I'm going to line the lips. This isn't a too dark brown color. It gets the job done though. I like to line the bottom with the side of the pencil and then the other side. I don't know how to explain, but y'all see what I'm doing. I also think it makes more sense to go from the outer corner to the cupid's bows than from cupid's bow to out. I don't know, I feel like I have more control this way. Another thing I struggle with my makeup is symmetry. So sometimes my lips, they take me a little while to just really make sure they look nice. Because I feel like people, they stare at your mouth when they talk to you. So it's like, you gotta make sure your lips are coming correct. Especially if you gotta go off on somebody, you need to make sure you're looking together. Not that I be going off on people or nothing, but yeah. I think this looks nice. And then I'm going to go in with my Lip Bar Liquid Matte Lipstick in Curl Friend. This gives me a really cute pink nude color. A mauve, if you will. I'm going to go in with one more layer just to, you know, make sure it's real good and on there. Blending it all together around the edge. And there we have it. This is the finished look. I think it really ate down. I was a little nervous. I thought that foundation was gonna be too dark, but it actually, everything actually looks really, really fucking good. I think you should actually follow my routine and let me know, you know, how it works out. What other videos should I do? Let me know in the comments what other techniques y'all want to see, or what other products that I like to use for certain things. I'd love to make more videos. Thanks for watching.